Sa negosyo, pahuhusayin ang kakayahan. Angkop at bagong teknolohiya, subsidyo, patubig at infrastruktura. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Masaganang ani, mataas na kita. Maunlad na buhay ng mga magsasaka at mga mangingisda. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Masaganang ani, mataas na kita. Maunlad na buhay ng mga magsasaka at mga mangingisda. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Masaganang ani, mataas na kita. Maunlad na buhay ng mga magsasaka at mga mangingisda. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. 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 Ito ng bagong pananaw sa produksyon, malakas ang kooperasyon. Katuwang ng mga magsasaka, pamahalaan at pribadong sektor. Dadagdagan ang kaalaman sa kabuhayan. Sa negosyo, pahuhusayin ang kakayahan. Angkop at bagong teknolohiya, subsidyo, patubig at infrastruktura. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Masaganang ani, mataas na kita. Maunlad na buhay ng mga sektor. Dadagdagan ang kaalaman sa kabuhayan. Sa negosyo, pahuhusayin ang kakayahan. Angkop at bagong teknolohiya, subsidyo, patubig at infrastructure.
Hello. Hello po. Good afternoon po sa lahat. Ayan. So time check po tayo. Ngayon ay 1:14 p.m. At ngayon po ay November 4, 2020. So atin na pong umpisan tong ating pong webinar, no? So sa mga participants po natin from Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao, magandang hapon po ulit sa inyo. Welcome po dito po sa pangatlong episode ng ating pong FPA webinar series. I hope na may mga participants tayo dito, no, na nag-attend from the first episode hanggang ngayon. So parang tinatangkilik po talaga nila ito pong ating programa. Ayun, so I hope na lahat po tayo ay safe and sound. Bilang we've been just recently naranasan natin yung hagupit ni Bagyong Rolly. At ayun, ngayon naman may binabantay na naman sa may Pacific Ocean. Itong pong kung naging bagyo ay magiging bagyong ano na to? Letter S. Shoni. Shoni ba 'yon? Shoni. Ayun. So doble ingat po tayo ngayon mga kababayan kasi nga nasa kalagitnaan tayo ng pandemic, tapos nasa rainy season po tayo, no? So doble ingat. By the way, ako nga pala si Ivan Layag, isa po akong information officer dito sa Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority. At ako nga po ulit whether you want it or not, ako po ulit yung magiging moderator sa habong ito. So sa ngayon po, let me check first kung ilan yung participants natin sa Zoom. We have, kanina 53 eh. Ngayon, dumami na, nadagdagan tayo. So we have 59 participants sa Zoom. How about po yung sa Facebook? 63. Ayun, so we hope na madadagdagan po yung mga watchers natin from the Facebook Live, and yung pong mga nag-register na ibang participants dito sa Zoom, makapasok ay makapag-join din sila, no? Ayun po. So, ayun. By the way po pala, makakasama natin ngayong hapon mga speakers na pinadala po ng ating pong mga regulatory offices dito sa FPA, na sila po talaga yung nag-handle na itong mga regulatory frontline services dito. Ngayong hapon po, makakasama po si Ma'am Maribel and Sir Jason po from the Fertilizer Regulations Division. And ayun po, makakasama ulit natin si Ma'am Belia Fe Carmona from the Pesticide Regulations Division. So talagang si Ma'am Bel ay committed and dedicated dito po sa ating programa. Ayun po. So tayo po ay kasalukuyang napapanood din ngayon by the Facebook live streaming po doon po sa official Facebook page ng Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority. So sa mga high-tech dyan, mga high-tech, paki-screenshot, ano po, itong pong, anong sabi? Screen capture. paki-screen capture po yung pong QR code na nakikita po natin sa screen. So ayun po. So let me first read po bago tayo formally mag-start. Let me read first itong mga sumusunod na house rules. Una po, choose a quiet location para po mapakinggan natin yung mga lectures and discussions po mamaya. Pangalawa, we recommend po yung paggamit ng earphones. Pangatlo po, your microphone and camera are not needed and will remain disabled throughout the duration of the webinar. Number 4, participants may ask questions and raise concerns by the Zoom webinar Q&A tool dito po sa Zoom. The participants are also encouraged to participate in the Zoom polling sessions and Q&A at the end of the webinar. And ayon, to avoid disruption of your participation in this webinar, please ensure that you are connected to at least 5 Mbps bandwidth. You may check your internet speed by typing in your browser speedtest.net or fast.com. Next, a link where all the resources used in this webinar will be provided at the end of the webinar. Stay focused and listen attentively. And lastly po, only participants are able to answer the pre and post evaluation will be given certificates. Ayun. By the way, ito pong ating pong webinar is ating pong sinasagawa para po, una po is to promote the different regulatory services of the agency. And secondly po, we want to answer and clarify public inquiries and concerns about the FPA's mandate and functions and related guidelines issued by the agency. And of course, yung pong kayo ng mga participants, we want you to share with others kung ano po yung mga natutunan nyo sa webinar na ito. Ayun. So before we formally begin, lagi po natin itong ginagawa dun sa beginning ng ating session. Ito pong pre-evaluation expectation setting. Ginagawa po natin to para po malaman namin as training managers and facilitators of this webinar kung paano po kami mag-i-improve dun po sa aming mga binibigay na serbisyo po para sa inyo. So kindly wait, I will share to you po yung pong poll. So yan. So kindly answer na po itong pong poll na nasa screen nyo po. So, kindly answer. Wala pa pong sumasagot. Nakikita niyo po ba? Ayun, mayroon ng isa.
PM niya. I-PM niya siya.
Ayun, so I'm going to end na po yung pong polling sessions natin. I'm going to share the results. Ito po yung ating pong naging result ng ating pong evaluation, no? Pre-evaluation. So una po dyan, have you attended the previous episodes of the FPA webinar series? So mas marami po ang nagsabi na, oy, surprising, maraming attendees natin na nag-attend ng both first and second episodes. So congratulations po. We hope na you will continue to support yung pong or to join po dun yung pong mga susunod pa nating sessions. Pangalawa po, ayun, saan po tayo ngayon? So mas maraming mga participants ang nagsabi na they are from Luzon. And susunod dyan yung mga taga NCR. Ayun po. And lastly, Yung pong reason natin kung bakit tayo nag-attend dito sa webinar na ito po is multiple choice. So mas marami yung nagsabi na gusto nilang maging updated to update their knowledge about FPA's regulations. And secondly po, of course, we want to learn about po yung topic po natin ngayon, which is about issuance of licenses to fertilizer and pesticide dealers. So I'm going to stop sharing yung pong results ng ating pong call. So, ayun po. To formally begin po yung ating pong discussion po ngayong hapon, tinatawagan ko sina Ma'am Maribel and Sir Jason to get ready na po, no? By the way po, si Sir Jason Garcia, he is an agriculturist 1 at the Fertilizer Regulations Division. And Ma'am Maribel Quirihero. Tama bang pagkaka-pronounce ko, Ma'am Maribel? Tama, Quirihero. She's a senior agriculturist po sa Fertilizer Regulations Division din. So, ready na? Wait. So kindly wait, I'm going to, add them as panelists dito po sa ating pong session. Maribel. And si Sir, yes. Di ba pala natin na-add sila? Okay po. So okay na po ba Sir Jason and Ma'am Maribel? Okay po. So you may now share your screen na po if ready na po kayo.
So, hello, good afternoon. I'm Maribel Quirihero from the So again, hello, good afternoon. I'm Maribel Quirihero from the licensing section of the Fertilizer Regulations Division. So I will be presenting to you the rules and regulation for licensing of fertilizer handlers. So the fertilizer regulatory policies and implementing guidelines. So I will be discussing with you the licensing of fertilizer handlers. So the PD 1144, a part of PD 1144, why we have these regulations for fertilizer. Who are the fertilizer handlers? Requirements for licensing of fertilizer handlers. The process and processing time for application of license to operate as fertilizer handler. And the new normal application process because of this pandemic due to COVID. So under the Presidential Decree number 1144, the Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority was created, abolishing the Fertilizer Industry Authority. As mentioned earlier by previous speakers, pursuant to PD 1144 Section 9, the registration and licensing, no pesticides, fertilizers, or other agricultural chemicals shall be exported, imported, manufactured, formulated, stored, distributed, sold, or offered for sale, transported, delivered for transportation or use unless it has been duly registered in the FPA or covered by a numbered provisional permit issued by FPA for use in accordance with the conditions as stipulated in the permit. Separate registration shall be required for each active ingredient for pesticide and for each fertilizer grade in case of fertilizer. So under the Presidential Decree number 1144, Section 9, as mentioned earlier, no person shall engage in the business of exporting, importing, manufacturing, formulating, distributing, supplying, repacking, storing, commercially applying, selling, marketing of any pesticides, fertilizer, and other agricultural chemicals except under a license issued by FPA. The FPA, in the pursuit of its duties and functions, may suspend, revoke, or modify the registration of any pesticide, fertilizer, and other agricultural chemicals after due notice and hearing. So, Presidential Decree number 1144, Section 7 also states that the FPA has its power to issue rules and regulations to implement this decree. Pursuant to PD 1144, Section 7, FPA is authorized to issue or promulgate rules and regulations to implement and carry out the purposes and provisions of FPA is authorized to promulgate its rules, regulations for the registration and licensing of fertilizer handlers, pesticide for the PID and other agricultural inputs, collect fees pertaining thereto, as well as for renewal, suspension, revocation, or cancellation of such registration or licenses and such other rules and regulations as may be necessary to implement PP 1144. So, who are the fertilizer handlers? Fertilizer handlers shall mean exporters, importers, manufacturers, formulators, processors, bulk blenders, bulk handlers, distributors, suppliers, wholesalers, dealers, repackers, commercial applicators, warehousers, and retailers of fertilizer and fertilizer inputs. Types of handlers with 1-year validity. So we have the manufacturer, formulator, processor, bulk blenders, the importer and user, national or area distributor, the exporter, bulk handler, repacker, institutional user, inventor, mango flower inducer, contractor, and then those handlers with validity of 3 years are the dealers, dealer repackers. So, who are the manufacturers? They are persons engaged in the fertilizer operations through the conversion of raw materials into a finished product. The formulators, any person involved in the development of fertilizer formulations intended for toll manufacturing or processing. Processor, any person engaged in the fertilizer operations through a series of mechanical operations to alter the physical form of raw materials from mining or mineral deposits into a finished product readily available as plant material. Correct. Bulk blender, any person engaged in fertilizer operations through the mechanical mixing of 2 or more granular fertilizer materials to produce mixtures containing nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and other essential plant nutrients for a customized fertilizer. So importers, any person or entity engaged in the importation of fertilizer as a business and sells to distributors. Importer and user refers to commercial plantations which import and use the fertilizers directly for their consumption, and private research institutions or companies that import or use fertilizer for textile processing. National distributor, any person or entity who sells fertilizer products to dealers, other distributors, and outlets nationwide. It includes fertilizer companies that carry out their own brand names and affix their company name in the label. Area distributor refers to a fertilizer establishment who can sell fertilizer products to dealers and outlets, but with a specific area of coverage within the or boundary of its island zone, Visayas, and Mindanao. Area distributor need not to register their own fertilizer products. So exporter, any person or entity who sells fertilizer to other countries. Bulk handler, any person engaged in the handling of fertilizer either in bulk or in bulk, which include bagging and holding from the port. Repacker refers to any fertilizer company duly authorized to engage in retaining fertilizers and other nutrients, except nitrates. Repacking Repacker refers to any fertilizer company duly authorized to engage in retailing fertilizers and other new grades except nitrates. Repacking of solid fertilizer is in 5, 10, 25, and 50 kilograms. And for liquid fertilizer, repacking volume is 25, 50, 70, 100, and 250 ml. Indentors, any person or entity who acts as an agent who transacts business with foreign or local supplier in behalf of the company, registrant, or who arranges business between two or more contracting parties. So what are the requirements for license to operate as fertilizer handler? So the duly accomplished and notarized application form with documentary stamp. So this is downloadable in the FPA website. So this is how it looks. Application for license to operate as fertilizer handler. So the applicant must completely fill out this application form. So you have to put here N or R, it means if it's new or renewal, then the license to operate, if you're a manufacturer, national distributor, area distributor, importer, whatever activities you want to apply for. Then if it's renewal, you should write here your previous license number and the expiry date. So the address of the company, and then type of ownership, it's single, proprietorship, partnership, corporation, or cooperative. Then for corporation or partnership, a copy of Security and Exchange Commission registration and articles of incorporation should be submitted. For cooperative, copy of Cooperative Development Authority registration, and for single proprietorship, copy of Certificate of Business Name registration with the Department of Trade and Industry. These are not required upon renewal. So these are only for new applicants. And then the new applicants, the notarized certificate of capitalization if you are DTI registered. And then for renewal, your latest ITR or audited financial statement. This will be used as the basis for license fee computation. The number 4, distributorship agreement or certificate from mother company. Distributorship agreement or certificate from mother company, a photocopy for importer or importer and user, national or air distributor, and repacker only. The Environmental Compliance Certificate or ECC or Certificate of Non-Coverage, CNC, which is from DNR. This is required for the manufacturer, processor, formulator, bulk blender, and institutional user only. The mining permit from DNR for processor. Then the list of bulk handling equipment for bulk handler only, and contract with the manufacturer or supplier for indentor only. So these requirements and other requirements involving FPA regional field units, the inspection report of the plant or repacking site by the FPA officers covering the area, for manufacturer, processor, formulator, bulk blender, and bulk handler only. This appraisal checklist for warehouse or store, except for bulk handler and indentor. So recommendation from FPA regional or provincial officer on the area of coverage, except for indentor, and the registration of fertilizer warehouse, except for bulk handler and indentor. So handlers required to register their products. These are the manufacturers, the formulators, the processors, the bulk blenders, the importer, end user, national distributor, exporter, and the repackers. So other handlers mentioned earlier, as not listed here, need not register their product, but they should handle registered product. So fees. The fees is comprised of the filing fee for new applicants only, and then the license fee for both new and renewal. The filing fee per activity for new applicants only, for manufacturer, processor, formulator, bulk blender, bulk handler, repacker, institutional user is 3,600. And for the importer, end user, national distributor, area distributor, exporter, and indentor, 1,800 filing fee. For new applicants, the filing fee is based on the paid up capital. And then for the renewal of license, the filing fee is based on, the license fee is based on paid up capital plus retained earnings. So license fees are subject to change purely depending on the company's financial status or performance. So the license fee based on declared capitalization for new and renewal, if it's over 5 million capitalization for first activity, it's 8,400. Succeeding activities is 4,800. Over 1 million to 5 million capitalization, first activity is 5,400 and succeeding activities 3,600. Over 500,000 to 1 million capitalization, first activity is 3,600, succeeding activities 1,800, and for 5,000 and below capitalization, the first activity is 1,800 and succeeding activities is 850. So does it mean first activity? For example, you are an importer and a national distributor, or your first activity is as an importer, so it's 8,400, and then as national distributor, your license fee is 4,800, and then if you have other activities, you will be charged depending on your succeeding activities. So that's how we compute the license fee. And then surcharge of fees for late renewal is also implemented. So for late renewal, a 50% surcharge of fees is if renewed within 1 month after expiry date. So 100% surcharge of fees is if renewed beyond 1 month after expiry date. So, for example, your expiry date is November 4, and then you filed your renewal November 5. We will be given a surcharge of 50%. And then if November 4, your expiry date is November 4, and then you filed your application December 5, 100% surcharge. So the processing time for the license to operate as fertilizer handler. So client steps: submit your application with complete required documents to Fertilizer Regulations Division, licensing section. So, and then the officer should check the completeness of your submitted documents. We only receive application with complete documentary requirements. And then, if complete, we will issue you the bill form, the corresponding fees, and then you pay the corresponding fees to the cashier, and then you present the official receipt to FRD staff for photocopying and to be receive your application. So we need the photocopy of your official receipt for processing. Then the waiting time for the evaluation and processing of your application is 3.5 working days. Then if there is some compliance or corrective action needed, so you will be notified in case sometimes upon review and evaluation, we find that there are still some deficiencies from your submitted documents. So it's a post clock, and then the waiting time is 3 days. So it is the review and the recommendation of your application to the division chief and then to the deputy director, executive director, then final review, then approval or disapproval of your application. So the steps, the processing time takes 7 working days. So from receipt to notification, it's 7 days. So under this new normal, we have an application process wherein we request the applicants to email the scanned copy of the applications, those mentioned before, the applications and the documentary requirements to fpa.frd.license@gmail.com. Then upon receipt of applications and documents, initial evaluation shall be conducted for completeness, and then if we find that your applications and documentary requirements are complete, a bill form shall be issued through email for your fees to be paid and further instructions to the applicant. This is to minimize face-to-face contact. The applicant may opt to have the option to submit the original copies of the applications and the requirements, the bill form, the email bill form, and the payment in manager's check and company check payable to FPA through a courier addressed to Fertilizer Regulations Division, Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority, Bay Compound, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. So this has been done under this new normal. So for further clarification and inquiries, you may contact us at fpa.frd.license@gmail.com or telephone number 844-11601. You may look for me, Maribel or Jason. And this we recommend to all the applicants that to be compliant with the FPA rules and regulations, let us always remember any person or entity who wants to engage in the fertilizer business must register the product with the FPA or handle only FPA-registered products and must have the corresponding license to operate as fertilizer handlers. We also encourage farmers, whether in large scale or in small scale farming, to use or patronize only the FPA-registered products and buy from FPA-licensed fertilizer handlers and dealers. That is for safety and quality assurance, which is one of our mandates. So thank you very much for your kind attention. That's all for licensing of fertilizer. Thank you.
So, ano po, to continue po yung discussion po ni Ma'am Maribel, proceed po tayo. This is related din po no, sa about licensing of handlers for fertilizers. So, may I call on Mr. Jason Garcia? Pwede na po ba si Sir? Okay, so Sir Jason, it's now your turn na po.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I am here to present now the licensing requirements for dealers, dealer repackers, and mango contractors. So just to recap, pinaliwanag na po ni Ma'am Maribel yung requirements for handlers that operate on a national level. So to enumerate, ito po yung manufacturers, importers, distributors, exporters, repackers, indentors, as well as the bulk handlers. So the fertilizer dealers, dealer repackers, and mango contractors differentiate in a way that they operate on a local level as compared to these na nabanggit na ni Ma'am Maribel. So to start off, let us define the what is a fertilizer dealer. So per our regulatory policies and implementing guidelines, dealers are defined as persons or establishments who sell fertilizers directly to farmers or end users. So they differentiate from distributors in a way na si dealer ay nagbebenta directly sa farmers or sa mga consumers natin, whereas si distributor ang nagsusupply ng fertilizers or agricultural chemicals sa ating mga dealers. For dealer repackers naman, sila ay mga licensed na FPA dealers na inaalaw mag-repack ng inorganic fertilizers except nitrates sa smaller quantities. So repacking ng solid fertilizers may be in 1, 2, or 5 kilograms, whereas liquid fertilizers are allowed in 25, 50, 70, 100, and 250 ml. So for mango contractors, they are persons or entities who enter into a contract with a mango grower to service his trees from flower induction to harvesting for a fee on a sharing basis. So paano ba nagsesecure ng fertilizer dealership license? Ang unang step dyan is the Accredited Safety Dispenser Training. So the ASD training is defined as a training program to educate the agricultural sector on the proper and efficient use of fertilizers and pesticides. This training aims to enhance the skills of the agricultural dealer, retailer, and likewise provide them with concrete information about product knowledge, input use, general shop management, demand forecasting, and storage and handling. So ASD trainings are conducted by our regional field units. So you may contact our regional field officers regarding the availability of these. Since nag-move na po tayo sa new normal, ang current na setup ay nagko-conduct sila ng virtual trainings for ASD, whereas some field units still conduct na face-to-face trainings provided na nasusunod naman yung social distancing protocols ng national government. So, for the specific requirements of the dealer license, kailangan mag-submit ng una is the application form, tapos yung SEC registration ni company, if they are under CDA, CDA registration or DTI registration. Then the requirements 3 and number 4, the recommendation from the FPA regional office and the risk appraisal checklist, masesecure to ng dealer by scheduling an inspection with our field officers. So upon inspection at nakita ng field officer namin na okay naman yung facility, tapos wala namang na-violate or anything, then nag-i-issue sila ng recommendation and risk appraisal checklist. Then lastly is the accredited safety dispenser ID na makukuha nyo upon attending the ASD training. Okay. So, magkano ba yung fees ng dealership license? So, for fertilizer dealers or dealer repackers, 1.8 po yun. Whereas kapag naman dealer sila ng both fertilizer and pesticide, 4,000. If member ng dealer association, meron po yung discount, nagiging 1.5 yung fee, whereas 3.2 naman if both FP. Kapag din po miyembro kayo ng cooperative, meron kayong 50% discount sa dealer fees nyo. So, as for dealer repackers naman, ano ba yung guides namin para matawag kayo na dealer repacker? Una, yung material na gagamitin dapat for repacking should be thick and transparent na plastic bag which is durable enough for handling and transport. So, yung materials na gagamitin dapat labeled and sealed para sa consumers. So the bag should be labeled with the following information printed on a piece of paper and inserted inside the bag or printed on the bag itself. So first is the name and complete address of the repacker, yung grade ng fertilizer, name ng supplier, yung date kung kailan siya ni-repack, tsaka yung license number ng repacker, and yung net content. So may footnote dito na it should be the label should be visible and legible at all times. So specific requirements po para magkaroon ng dealer repacker license. Una, application form with documentary stamp. Second, yung kopya ulit ng SEC registration, CDA registration or DTI registration. Yung recommendation from the FPA regional field unit and risk appraisal checklist para sa warehouse. And lastly, yung active na dealer license certificate ng company. So hindi po kayo pwedeng mag-apply as dealer repacker unless meron na kayong license as FPA dealer. Ang fees niya ay same lang din po with dealer license. So madadagdag po ito on top of your dealer license. So 1.8 for the dealer repacker. Kapag member ka ng association, 1.5. Tapos if both fertilizer and pesticide, ayun. So as for mango contractor licenses naman, to secure a mango contractor license, required din po umattend naman ng mango contractors training. So this training is required for contractors, growers, and spray crews in their acquisition and use of potassium nitrate and other nitrates as mango flower inducer. So this training is designed to train yung handlers on the correct use of potassium nitrate as mango flower inducer, and also to develop their awareness on the safe and judicious use of fertilizers and pesticides. So specific requirements for the application of license as a mango contractor. First is the application form, then yung certificate of membership ng accredited association, and lastly yung attendance niya to mango contractor training. The fees is 1,200 for the license, whereas if member siya ng accredited association, discounted, so 600 na lang. Reminder lang po, ang dealer at dealer repacker license, they are valid for 3 years, whereas the mango contractor license, 1 year lang yung itatagal niya. So after 1 year, i-renew na si mango contractor, dealer and dealer repacker license after 3 years. So the renewal should be done 3 months before the expiry date. So licenses renewed within a month after expiration, meron na pong 50% surcharge, while yung licenses na na-renew after 1 month ng expiration, doble na po yung babayaran, so 100% surcharge. So processing of license will commence upon submission ng complete requirements. So kapag po hindi kumpleto yung requirements, sorry, hindi po tatanggapin. And upon receipt of those requirements, 6 working days po, makukuha nyo na yung lisensya. So that is all. Thank you.
End na pala yun. Ayun po, thank you very much po, Sir Jason Garcia and Ma'am Maribel Quirihero. Ayun. So, wag natin pong patagalin pa ito, no? So, to proceed, ayun po, tinatawagan ko po si Ma'am Ella Fedi Carmona. She is a chemistry po from the Pesticide Regulations Division. And po, she will be discussing licensing of pesticide handlers. So kanina po is about fertilizer handlers po. Ngayon naman po is about pesticide handlers. So na-mention po doon yung mga iba't ibang klase ng mga handlers, no? Dealers, repackers, mga contractors. Ayun. So the same thing applies doon po sa part naman po ng pesticide licensing of pesticide handlers. So your turn na po, Ma'am Bell.
Wala ko sa screen. May say naman.
So just a reminder lang po to all the participants, pwede niya pong i-post yung pong mga questions ninyo dito po sa ating pong chat box. At the same time, dun po sa mga participants natin na nanonood via the Facebook Live po ng FPA official page, you may post po your comments or mag-comment kayo doon po sa mismong live stream. Ayun po, ating pong sasagutin yung pong mga katanungan nyo at the end part po nito pong ating webinar. Thank you po.
Magandang hapon po. Ako po muli ang mag-present. Pero it doesn't mean na ako yung in charge sa license. Si Ms. Allen Sibal po ang nag-handle ng license. So I have to discuss on the issuance of license to operate LTO as pest control operator, the drone spraying operator, dealer, and handlers. For the licensing procedure, pursuant to Section 9 of PD 1144 and Sections 1 and 2 of Article 3 of the FPA Rules and Regulations, number 1 series 1977, all pesticide handlers must obtain a license with the Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority. So it means that no person shall engage in the business of importing, manufacturing, formulating, exporting, repacking, distributing, storing, or selling any pesticide except under a license issued by the authority. A separate license shall be required for each establishment or place of business, subject to these rules to be conspicuously displayed therein. So license is a written authority issued by FPA to a handler for a particular activity as a business enterprise. What are the licenses that is being issued by FPA? The pesticide licenses. We have the dealer, the importer, extruder, exporter, wala na po tayong recycler. Ito yung from the plastic na kino-convert into different products, parang sa mga basin or whatever conversion yung sa yung ginagamit sa Davao. Then we have the repacker, the distributor, area distributor, licensed as indentor trader. We have the importer and user, the pest control operator, manufacturer, formulator, the supplier's local subsidiary or representative, warehouse registration, and last but not the least, the drone spraying operator. For the license, accredited safety dispensers shall be required for all licensed dealers selling pesticides as safety dispensers of fertilizers and or pesticide products. And then for the importer, when you will be licensed as importer, actually you should be also the registrant of the product. For the extruder, this is the one that is being used plastic, polyethylene plastic covered to the banana para po makontrol yung mealybug sa wherein the product or the pesticide that is being produced, the pellet, will come in extruded into a plastic. Yung po yung, and it should be licensed also. Marami na po tayong licensed extruder sa Davao. Exporter, hindi po masyadong marami nag-export for commercial purposes. And then repacker, it has to be licensed also following the occupational health and safety standards. Distributor, actually automatic po yung importer distributor. Once you import, you have to distribute the product that you are giving to another distributor. Meron po tayong tinatawag ding national distributor and the area distributor wherein you can distribute the product without registering the product. Kung po sa national distributor, you're required to register your own brand name. Pag area distributor po, hindi na kayo magre-register ng product, you will distribute the product as is. Kunyari, kumuha po kayo sa company A and you want to distribute it, you will distribute it as is. But you have to apply for a license also as area distributor. The licensed importer, trader, the importer and user, usually, ito po yung mga plantations natin, yung institutional users. Kasi once they import, they use it for their own plantation. And then we have the pest control operator. Ang pest control operator natin, we have the fumigator po ngayon. Wala na tayong exterminator. The fumigator, wherein a CPA who uses restricted gaseous pesticides or fumigants compounds in the controlled treatment of agricultural pesticides. And then manufacturer formulator, Yeah, that is also, you should be licensed as a manufacturer formulator. Supplier social subsidiary representative. Yung warehouse po, ito po yung nagsasubmit, they submit a recommendation or the inspection report coming from our regional or provincial officer. And the drone spraying. For the dealers, as I have mentioned, the accredited safety dispenser, and then the training needed for importer, repacker, distributor, importer, and user is they are required to have an ARCO. Kahit isa lang po ang requirement. But before there is a suggestion, it should depend on the volume of the products or depende sa company, sa size ng company, ang number of ARCO. Pero halos lahat naman po hindi isa lang ang ARCO eh. This ARCO aims to professionalize the role of handlers of crop protection products who are directly and indirectly involved in food production po. So yun po yung kailangan ng ARCO. And then right now what we have is the drone spraying operator. Drone is now being introduced to provide innovative technology to the farmer, which is important to be competitive in the market. This will also lessen the exposure of the farmer, considering how the product will be used. Sa drone spraying operator po, kailangan natin dito ang drone controller who should be an accredited CPA and has a license from the CAAP or the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines to operate or fly drone and uses it in the application of pesticides. And then we have also the drone spray crew supervisor, yung assistant po ng drone controller, who should be an accredited CPA or ARCO also. Kasi po dito sa drone spraying operator, ngayon po marami nang nag-a-avail with the use of EUP kasi hindi po pwedeng the same rate of application kung the same crops, the same dosage, hindi po pwede kasi ibang rate ng application sa drone. So right now, those who are conducting an EUP using drone, yun, with a certain, they are required also to have a specific product stewardship program. Kaya required po na mayroong ARCO, may accredited responsible care officer po tayo. So with this drone, ano po ba? Merong in-issue si Director po yung Circular number 28, 2018, yung good agricultural practices for the flying of using the drone application. And then, for the licensing of dealers, this is any person, partnership, or corporation or cooperative desiring to sell pesticides and other agricultural chemicals has to apply and secure a license from the FPA through the FPA provincial officer. In addition to the requirements of licensing of dealers stated under Section 4.2.1 for pesticide companies, applications for dealership license must include recommendation from the FPA Project Development Officer, the copy of registration of business name with the Bureau of Domestic Trade for single proprietorship or Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for corporation or partnership, or Cooperative Development Authority for cooperative. There is a need to come up with a list of registered agricultural pesticide products to be sold. Naka-indicate po dapat yan sa applications or attachment kasi hindi naman po isang product lang na yung ibebenta nyo as a dealer. For members of Agro-Dealers Association, certificate of membership from the association and copy of FPA ID as accredited safety dispenser. So sa renewal po, only requirement ng na-mention ko sa number 1, number 3, and 6 are needed in addition to the requirements stated under Section 4.2.1. Nasa website po natin sa Green Book yon. A separate application form and corresponding fee shall be paid for each branch and outlet. So doon po sa the activity na minention ko on the pesticide licenses issued by FPA, ano po, there is a corresponding application form and a corresponding requirement for its activity. So, good housekeeping requirement for licensing of pesticide dealers and distributors. All licensed pesticide dealers and distributors, including new applicants, are required to meet the minimum standards of good housekeeping in the storage and handling of pesticides, both in the store and warehouse. So the audit team composed of FRAN members and FPA representatives will issue a proof of compliance in a form of good housekeeping compliance certificate. Parang may checklist po itong ginawa na to check whether you have complied with a certain activity in your warehouse or in your store. The establishment shall be inspected at least once a year and be issued with a certificate of the minimum standards of good housekeeping were met. A risk appraisal checklist for warehouse or store. Annex 8 shall be used during inspection. Those who fail to meet the minimum standard shall be notified and given a period of time within which improvement shall be made. Integral to good housekeeping is the presence of appropriate tools or gadgets to contain the spillage of toxic materials and maintain cleanliness and orderliness. Validity, renewal, and fee. Licenses issued to all handlers other than dealers and dealers shall be renewed every year and every 3 years respectively from the date of its issuance. The renewal of licenses shall be filed at least 3 months before its expiry date. Failure of a handler to renew his license 1 month after the expiry date shall be subject to 50% surcharge. Same is true with the fertilizer. While those renewed after the said period shall be subject to a 100% surcharge for every year that such a handler remained unlicensed. Fees and charges are computed on per activity basis. Fees and charges for application and renewal of license of pesticide handlers. Just to mention na pag new ang company po and you submit a product registration, that should be simultaneous submission, application for the license and the registration of the product. Pero hindi po kaagad ini-issue ang license until the product is approved. Kasi it will be useless if you have a license but you don't have the product to be distributed, or you have a product then you don't have the license. So sabay po yun pag first time. But then after that, when you come up with another product, then wala na pong problema kasi you have already an existing license. For the schedule of fees, mali chat. So, andito po yung schedule of fees namin. Dali lang po, parang maliit yung print eh. I don't know if you can see this. So, hindi na. For the schedule of activities, we have the filing fee, activity for new applications, pesticide. Kung ang activity nyo po ay manufacturer, formulator, repacker, or institutional users, 7,500 ang filing per activity. Then other activities like, for example, distributor, repacker, then you have 2,500. For the license fee, it depends based on company's capitalization annually or yung subscribed paid up capital plus retained earnings. meron pong capitalization na naka-mention dito. Kung over 5 million capitalization, the first activity, kung first activity nyo is manufacturer, then you have to pay the license fee 8,005. The succeeding activity is distributor, national distributor, then 5,000 po. So it will depend on your capitalization on how much you're going to pay for the license fee. So for the pest control operator or drone spraying operator, annually po ang renewal nito, so 1,200. And then naka-mention din po dito yung accreditation fee for a certified pesticide applicator wherein we have only the fumigator. It's also 600 annually din po ito. And then for the warehouse, for pesticide, 2,000. And then for both fertilizer and pesticide, you have the 2,400. For the dealers, this is renewable every 3 years. For the pesticide dealers, a member of Dealers Association, 2,500. For the mall hardware stores with option to pay annually or every 3 years, 2,000 po ito. Then household pesticide, hindi naman po sa atin na to sa FDA eh. So hindi ko na yun i-mention how much you're going to pay. The dealers of both fertilizer and pesticide, 4,000. Pag members of Dealers Association, 3,200. And for cooperatives, the 50% discount of dealers. So just to mention, I mentioned earlier yung good agricultural practices. Kasi po, first time tayo magkaroon ng drone spraying operator, and then there was an Memo Circular 28 series of 2018 that was issued by our respective director, Director Roldan, for the good agricultural practices for remotely piloted aircraft system. Right now po, meron po tayong kinakandak ng mga EUP using drone, mga multinational company, Syngenta, and Bayer, wherein they use the New Hope Precision Agriculture Corporation, which is licensed already with FPA under the management of Mr. Anthony Tan. Then another one from Bayer, they're using the AgriCerna Technical Solutions Incorporated under Joel Lacerna. And then we have another licensed operator, the Elucin Agriculture Consultancy Services, handled by Mr. Gualberto Bontoc and Jelmer Aguirre. So just for you to have an idea, bakit importante po yung drone spraying application. FPA is tasked to protect the public from the improper pesticide usage, which presents serious risks to users, handlers, and the public in general due to the inherent toxicity of these compounds, which are moreover potential environmental contaminants. So FPA has authority to determine the specific uses or manner of use for each pesticide or pesticide formulation, and to establish and enforce tolerance levels and good agricultural practices for use of pesticides in raw agricultural commodities. So dito po na babanggit na ang coverage nito are all drone controllers, the operators, the service providers, the staff, pesticide companies, and other individuals or firms who are involved in activities concerning drone spraying of pesticide for the control of pests, diseases, and weeds, and the application of liquid fertilizer. For the drone application of pesticide, meron din po safety procedures in pesticide sprayings. So, hindi ko na masyadong i-detail, but you can observe this when you observe a use of drone in the field. Kahit po kasi EUP, there should be safety precautions to be followed, like in safety in handling of pesticide, the pesticide safety in post-application, and then, as I have mentioned, the requirement for the drone spraying operator, the drone spraying operator company requirements to get licensed to operate, this is from CAAP, Then FPA accreditation as certified pesticide applicator sa pest control operator po ito. And there should be competence and knowledge in the use of pesticides. The spray operation crew should also be knowledgeable in that way, and also should be accredited by the FPA as a CPA or as an ARCO. There are also choice storage and condition of pesticides that are being required in the application of drone spraying, and of course the safety, health, and appropriate equipment is required. So that's all for the licensing of pesticide. Thank you.
Okay po. So paaga po pala tayo ngayon, no? So time check po tayo.
Busy lang naman kasi.
Ngayon po is 2:23 po, base po dito sa ating pong phone. So bago po tayo mag-proceed po doon sa ating question and answer portion po, no? Dito pong ating pong webinar. Let me share with you some announcements lamang po.
Pero kita nila.
Wait. Yes. So for the announcements, ito po. Ulitin ko po, bali ito po pala yung mga magiging topic for the succeeding episodes po nito pong ating webinar. So ngayon po is November 4. So kadidiscuss lamang ang about sa issuance of licenses to fertilizer and pesticide handlers. May mga konting changes pala tayong ginawa dito sa ating pong scheduling topics, no? For November 11, our topic would be about issuance of VAT exemption, that is under the FRD. Certificate of Application for Importation of Pesticides or CAIP, under PRD po yun. Experimental Use Permit for Fertilizer and Pesticide. We'll be also discussing about the permit to purchase methyl bromide under the Laboratory Services Division po iyon. And we will be also tackling yung mga ibang certifications na in-issue po natin for fertilizer and pesticide regulation. And on November 25 po, our topic will be about issuance of accreditation for Accredited Responsible Care Officer or ARCO, Certified Pesticide Applicator. Dalawa po ito. It's for exterminator and fumigator. And fertilizer and pesticide researcher and accredited safety dispenser or ESD. On November 20, ay tama ba? May parang mali pala sa mali ata sa date. Ayun. So yung susunod po na week after discussion ng pong accreditation is the issuance of 18 ba yung isa? Parang mali. 18 yan. Opo. Supposedly November 18, tama? Per 18, ayun po. So November 18, and lastly po yung magiging topic natin is that would be on November 25, which is tama, November 25. Opo. November 25, which is yung Laboratory Support Services. 18 Opo. So, Laboratory Support Services, which is under po dyan yung pong mga services na in-offer po ng LSD, which includes po yung accreditation ng mga laboratories na would also cater po or perform laboratory and testing services for fertilizer and pesticide po. Moving on. Moving on po, kindly take note din po dito sa mga sumusunod na email addresses po ng Fertilizer Regulations Division. Marami pong mga email address yan ha. So kindly take note kung po pwede po pa-screenshot na lang po nitong mga email addresses. Same is true with the Pesticide Regulations Division. Next slide please. Yan po, may mga bago pong mga email addresses under PRD din. So kindly screenshot po ito or take note. So moving on po. Ayun. So for the updated schedule of online trainings and symposia, ayun po. Ngayong week, tama ba? Or ongoing ba ngayon, I should say? Yes, ongoing ngayon yung pong training on agricultural CPA fumigator, which is being facilitated by PMCPFI and PACPA. Next week po on November 9 to 11, we will be having a training
11
for same thing din, no, agricultural CPA fumigator, which is to be facilitated by the Philippine Association of Professional Fumigators or PAPFI. They will be also conducting a symposium po on November 12. On November 10 to 17, PMCPFI and PACPA will be facilitating a training on ARPO po, or Accredited Responsible Care Officer. And on November 21, they will be conducting a symposium po. Next po. Ayun, just an advisory, sa mga nais pong mag-visit dito po sa tanggapan po natin, dito sa FPA Central Office, maging pong mga ng mga FPA Regional Field Units, please be reminded na alam po natin na sa kalagitnaan tayo ng pandemya ngayon. So ito po yung ini-implement namin na policy: no face mask, no face shield, no entry. Same is true kung nais nyo pong mag-visit sa office, kailangan nyo pong magpa-appoint po muna doon po sa concerned officer na nais nyo pong daluhin or to have a consultation. Next po. Ayun po. Actually, malapit na po tayong matapos. For the webinar resources, ito po yung mga, if you want to access po yung pong mga presentations na ginamit natin for this webinar, kindly click po yung pang link na nakikita natin ngayon sa screen, or kung techie naman po tayo, you can screen grab po, or pwede nyo pong i-screen po yung pang nakikita nyo na QR code doon po sa ating yung sa ating screen ngayon. Well, I'll try to din po, no, ito pong link mismo, I'll try to post it dito mismo sa chat box. Same is true po doon sa post evaluation. Next slide. Ito po, for the post evaluation, please be reminded na yun po, like yung binanggit po binanggit ko kanina during the beginning of this webinar, na only those who are able to answer po yung ating pong pre and post evaluation po yung mabibigyan po ng e-certificate. So for the post evaluation po, pwede na pong sagutin ngayon. Kindly visit po yung link na nakikita nyo sa screen ngayon. I'll also be posting that later on, no? And kung techie tayo, meron din po tayong pwedeng i-scan na QR code para po immediately maglaland tayo doon po sa post-evaluation form. Ayun, so ito na po yung moment of truth na hinintay natin. So sa mga naging resource persons po kanina, kindly review po yung pong mga questions na pinost po ng ating mga participants dito po sa Zoom chat box. Same is true po doon sa mga comments doon sa ating pong Facebook live streaming. So tingin ko naman na po nag-ready na ito. Ready to come back ito po ating mga resource persons. Ayan po. So mag-share na lang ng screen po yung ating mga resource person, tapos isa-isahin nilang sasagutin po yung pong mga katanungan ninyo, no? Ayun. For the other questions, we will be also na-screen grab naman po natin iyan. So i-share din po namin sa inyo while they are answering po yung mismong question. So thank you po. So sino po yung unang sasagot? I think na lang po muna, yung mga representatives natin from the Fertilizer Regulations Division, si Sir Jason and si Ma'am Maribel. Ayun po. So Sir Jason and Sir Ma'am Maribel, kindly kindly answer yung pong mga questions na pinost ng ating mga participants. Ayun. So, ayun. Okay na po ba? Ay, sige. May pwedeng ito na lang po muna. Ito pong nakikita natin sa screen.
Sila na lang nag-share yung ano.
Ayan po. So yung question is, first question, to clarify, to be clarified, transparent plastic bag to be used to repack is, ano to? I'm not sure on word open ba? Or opaque talaga. Is opaque white color plastic bag is acceptable? So, sino po yung pwedeng makasagot po nito?
So based on our fertilizer regulatory policies and implementing guidelines, required po talaga na transparent or solid fertilizers yung gagamitin na plastic bag. So just to recap, dapat ito ay thick, transparent, and durable enough para sa fertilizers, para makontain. And as much as possible, no, not as much as possible, pero required po na dapat meron sa label containing details for like yung name and complete address ng company, trade, supplier, date repack, registration number, pati yung content ng fertilizer. So,
next. Okay na po ba? Next question.
Can we also use drone spraying for liquid fertilizer? So can we also use drone spraying for liquid fertilizer? Based on our Memo Circular number 28 series of 2018, one of the coverage is the application of liquid fertilizers. So you can use the drone spraying for liquid fertilizer.
Next question.
And in addition to drone spraying of fertilizer, in addition to Ma'am Belle's about drone spraying for liquid fertilizer. So if you are to engage into drone spraying for liquid fertilizer, you also need to apply for the license to operate as drone sprayer. So almost the same with pesticide. The only difference is ang i-handle nila is fertilizer.
Ayun, so can we proceed na po dun sa next question? Next question. Ito po ba? Regarding po sa licensing ng mango contractors, paano po namomonitor ng FPA ang mga licensed contractors versus sa mga nagpa-practice na di pa po license?
Hello sa anonymous attendee. Regards to mango contractors, meron po tayong field officers. So kada region, then in every region, may provinces. So yun po, namomonitor po ng mga provincial and regional officers yung ating mga mango contractors. And may corresponding penalties or in case na ba-violate, mahuli sila ng ating mga officers sa field. So sila, yung mga field officers ang responsible po dito sa ating mga mango contractors in case merong mga unlicensed na nag-ooperate competing the licensed mango contractors. Meron ba?
Okay, Sir Jason.
Okay, so just to add, kapag po meron kayo napansin sa field na mga mango contractors na hindi licensed with FPA, you may contact our field officers po para puntahan yung facility and i-inspect at tignan kung talagang hindi licensed sa kumpanya. Kasi po pag daming mango contractor, hindi lang naman FPA ang involved dyan. Involved din po ang PSP, firearms, explosives,
Nitrates.
dahil nitrates ang ginagamit with mango flower inducers. So, ayun po. As much as possible, itulog po muna natin sa mga regional officers ng FPA para po sila yung makagawa ng proper action towards those violators of ED 1144.
Okay po. Kung okay na po tayo, let's proceed dun sa next question. Ayan. Kindly wait po para ma-flash po muna dito sa screen. Ito po. Yung training certificate po ba for mango contractor licensing ay dapat po galing sa FPA? If not po, saan po manggagaling? Saan pong galing na training center ang po consider na valid?
Bale sa FPA lang po ang pwede na training for mango contractors. So, state, po siguro, hintay tayo ng announcements from our field offices kung kailan magkakaroon ng available. So, as for other agencies or private entities na nagkakandak ng mango contractor license, mango contractor training, hindi po namin siya magagamit or i-order kung mag-a-apply man kayo ng license.
Ayan. May dadagdag pa po yung ibang. Ayan. So, let's proceed. Ma'am.
Next question.
Okay.
May questions sa Facebook about sa pesticide.
Sige po. Or doon po sa mga mga speakers po natin, we have yung pong mga questions dito po sa mismong chat box, no? So, yung mga questions na we can directly answer, pakisagot na lang po muna. And for the participants po, if you have mga questions po kayo, you may directly email us po doon po sa mismong primary email ng FPA, which is fpacentral77@gmail.com. Okay po, so ito po nga na question. The question is to follow up the liquid fertilizer application for drone spraying. It means the application rates will also be calibrated. Do we need an EUP for that? Same procedure with the pesticide?
Saan yung question na?
So, Ma'am Bel, sa'yo
Teka,
na
bro, yung question and answer.
Liquid fertilizer.
Saan dito?
Ma'am, opo. Yung nasa screen nyo na po, Ma'am Bel po.
But liquid fertilizer. To follow up the liquid fertilizer. It means the application rate will also be calibrated. Ay, teka. Ang liquid fertilizer application yung tanong sa inyo.
Sa amin ata.
Oo, sa inyo. Kasi kung the same procedure with the pesticide now.
Hindi kayo nagaan.
For sa FRD.
Fertilizer.
With regards to liquid fertilizer used for drone spraying, ang tanong niya kung magre-require siya ng EUP for drone application. Actually, we have no policy yet with that if they will undergo EUP, but the calibration, there is a recommended rate for every fertilizer. Diba? May recommended rate po yan. So, hindi naman siya ganun ano ba tawag dito? Toxic. Pero yung toxicity, kasi ang ano ng pesticide, yung toxicity niya eh. Ang fertilizer, ang inaano naman namin, ang effectiveness din niya. Kung siya ba, pag din-drone spray mo, ay yung recommended rate ba, mari-reach, di ba, spray siya, mataas. Mari-reach ba niya yung plants, parang ganon. So, kung foliar siya, dapat ano siya, sa taas. Parang ganun kasi yung ano ng ating fertilizer. Yung recommended rate yung kailangan. So we will look to that deeper kung mag-EUP ba talaga. Or siguro sa EUP, pag nag-report po yung EUP, so kung recommended siya for drone spraying, yung fertilizer na yun, so pwede na as for drone spraying. Kasi may recommendations din na kailangan naman for every fertilizer. Aside dun sa recommended rate, yung effective niya, kung ma-reach niya ng plant yung recommended rate na kailangan. So sa EUP part, baka mag-discuss ko yun ng EUP part. Kasi yung fertilizer volume, wala pa kaming applicant for drone spraying, pero may mga nag-i-inquire na. So, yun po yung mga considerations din. Nag-undergo po siya ng EUP. Sa memo ba, ma'am, nakalagay na mag-i-EUP rin ang fertilizer?
Wala dito. Pero wala. Yung sa ano lang, sa pesticide kasi, requirement. O kasi iba yung magiging recommended rate of application.
So, yun din po. Yung recommended rate kasi.
Iba ang rate of application.
Sige po.
Okay.
Sa EUP po, i-discuss po namin.
Ayan po. Next week po, itatakal yung about sa EUP.
Malalaman.
So,
malalaman.
Ayun, isasama daw po.
Para mas maliwanag.
Okay po, Ma'am Bel. At noted po yan, ha? So, incorporate po during the discussion.
You have to attend.
So, isasama sa discussion next week po, yung kung about sa EUP. Ayun, next question. Paano namomonitor ng FPA kung ang ginagamit ng mga pesticide are all green labels? And meron na po bang nare-report o nasa-sanction na mga mango contractors, spraymen na not fully using PPEs and mixing more than 5 to 8 pesticides in one application? Are the field personnel closely monitoring on this?
Bakit green labels? Paano namomonitor na FPA? Kasi hindi naman green labels lang ang ginagamit kasi green labels stocks category 4 but we have registered products under yellow saka yung blue, category 2, 3, and 4. So, hindi ko alam kung ano yung minimension niyang imo-monitor all green labels kasi hindi naman green labels lang ang registered eh. Different toxicity category po, meron tayong Cat 2 which is yellow band, Cat 3 is blue band which is caution, then Cat 4 is the green band. So, and meron po bang sa mango contractor sprayman? Ito naman sa inyong mango contractor sprayman na fully using PPEs. Sa mango contractor ba, di ba fertilizer products ang ginagamit? Kasi nandito eh. Mixing, I don't know. Kasi sa mango contractors po, fertilizer products naman ang ginagamit dito eh. Sa mixing ng pesticide, yung po yung less 5 to 8 pesticides in one application, mahirap po yata yun. They're using more than 8 pesticides for one application. So, PPEs kasi po sa field naman, aming mga regional and field, provincial officers, they usually go to the field for an inspection din po. Closely monitoring on this. Most probably, they're doing it, the monitoring on, alam ko, hindi talaga totally following the complete requirement for PPEs. Hindi lahat, kagaya ng overalls or whatever, hindi yata nagagamit. O, sila nagagamit. Pero that's part of the responsibility of our field people to monitor those that are applying pesticides and how do they apply, whether they apply it in a proper procedure, the mixing of pesticides. So ganun po ang nangyayari.
Ayan po. So next question. Okay na po ba tayo doon? Okay po. About liquid fertilizers. Liquid fertilizer for hydroponics is covered by FPA license.
Yes, all fertilizer products registered in FPA.
Ayun. So kasama po sa
So,
ating
liquid
nire-regulate
fertilizer
yan.
for hydroponics, nire-register din
Sa inyo.
Okay.
FRT.
Ayun.
Hindi po license, registration.
May Sir Jason, may ano po siya.
So just to clarify po dun, pag sinabing license, nag-a-apply po
License,
siya sa
company.
kumpanya, whereas registration, nag-a-apply sa mga produkto na hinahandle ng kumpanya. So for hydroponics, dapat po i-register yung solution. And at the same time, mag-apply ng lisensya yung kumpanya.
Oh. Next question.
Okay. So, allow us to share with you yung pong mga questions from our Facebook Live, no? So, unang question. Regarding the Mingo contractors, nowadays, there are a lot of Mingo contractors. Ayan. Particularly here in Davao region. My question number 1, who will monitor that these Mingo contractors, chemical applicators are legitimate or licensed? Ay, nasagot na po ba?
Davao lang siya.
Okay. Sige, proceed na tayo sa next question. Last question na ba to? Ayan, tingin ko kung wala na pong question, bali ito na po yung last question. How many percent is the tolerable chemical residue or chemical content in a particular commodity to make it safe for human consumption, like mango, banana, tomato, eggplant, bitter gourd, and cabbage?
For the tolerable chemical residue, may corresponding MRL po tayo for each crop. Depende po kung anong crop, anong MRL, kung saan tolerable. Yung safe for human consumption. Meron po tayo, once they apply for registration, one of the requirement is the maximum residue submission of the MRL data.
Ayun, so okay na?
Okay na.
Are we sure na sagot po natin lahat ng mga questions dito? So kung wala na pong questions, may pahabol pa? Sige po. Kindly wait po. Last question na to, ha. So for this session, napaaga tayo, no? So for yung dun po sa ating naunang sessions, the first and second one is nag-overtime po tayo. Pero ngayon,
Nagsila naman
naman. So pero tingin ko, yun. Pero this webinar is supposedly within 2 hours siya. So kaya naman po natin tapusin ito before 3 p.m. Ito pa yung last question. Many liquid fertilizers for hydroponic cells online not registered. What is the stand of FPA regarding those liquid fertilizers non-registered?
Kasi nga po, may PD 1144 tayo. So under PD 1144, may mga sanctions po doon. Kailangan po, yung nagbebenta license, dapat yung ibinebenta registered yung product. So regardless kung liquid yan, kung solid fertilizer, so dapat registered. So ito po, may nagbebenta online ng non-registered liquid fertilizer. Actually, ang FPA ay ang kailangan po ma-report siya sa FPA. So yung police power, yun yung ma'am ng FPA. Ma'am Bel, wala tayong police power.
Meron din, di ba? Nahabol ng ating mga coordinators.
So yun po, yung mga coordinators po natin, regional at provincial officers, sila po yung, actually sila po yung nasa field talaga, sila yung nagmo-monitor. So kung ito po ay nasa website kasi online, so actually inaano din po ito ng FPA, tinitingnan po ng FPA, yung field operations and coordinating unit po. May mga reports din po na dumadaan sa atin sa FOCU. So nare-report din naman po ito sa FPA. So ginagawan din po ito na ma-apply sa kanila yung sanctions kasi nga unregistered yung kanilang ibinebenta. Tapos usually nga po yung nasa online, pag nakita nyo hindi din sila licensed. So yun, nakikita na po ito ng FPA. So may corresponding sanctions.
Kasi habang may chance pa to answer ito kung mga questions ninyo. Allow us to read more, two more questions. Any fertilizer dealer or a pesticide dealer sell products not registered with FDA, for example, registered sa box?
Ito po, sa fertilizer, sa side po ng fertilizer, kung dealer sell products not registered, yun na nga po yung lagi nating ina-emphasize, dapat po registered with FPA, yung inyong fertilizer product, tas yung nagbebenta, licensed with FPA. Tapos kung siya po naman ay yung product niya ay registered sa BAPS, ang coverage, ang fertilizer po na kino-cover ng FPA, inorganic fertilizer. Ang BAPS po ay organic fertilizer. So may sarili din pong proseso pag-license at pag-register ng product ang BAPS. So more on organic po ang kanilang hinahandle. Ang FPA is inorganic po. Coverage. Licensed and registered pala. Magkakampal po pala. So yun. Sa BAPS organic. Tayo inorganic.
So, same is true with the fertilizer, yung pesticide products. Dapat sa licensed dealer lang. Yun.
Okay.
Dapat registered yung product na binibenta ng dealers.
So, let me reiterate, kung inorganic FPA for organic BAPS, that is the Bureau of Agriculture
Kasi yung
and
license
Fisheries
natin,
Standards.
Baka may iba silang dealers ang BAPS.
Meron din po silang license.
Oo, meron. Kasi registered yung mga BAPS products nila, organic products
May
nila.
licensing procedure din
Meron.
for organic.
May tanong, parang may nag-raise din na tanong sa akin one time. May
Yeah.
tanong ba na ibalik sa FPA?
Ano, sir? Ito, sir, question po. Paano po kung beginner pa lang sa paggawa ng organic concoctions like FPJ?
Ano yung FPJ?
Ano ba yan? Fruit, mga extracts man to eh. Yung mga
Ay, baka sa organic.
So,
Oo, sa organic, hindi
na
sa
po
atin.
magsinap po agad ng kasi nga po ito, yung FPJ, FAA, at FFJ, ito po ay mga organic concoctions, organic products. So lahat raw materials nito organic. So ang may jurisdiction po ng mga products na ito ay BAPS, Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standards. So hindi po siya sa FPA. Unless gagawin nyo siyang fortified or
Tama po.
lalagyan siya ng inorganic. Hindi na siya makiklaim na organic.
Organic.
Ayan. So, kung wala na pong question, yun na ba yung last? Ayun.
Ayun.
So, that ends our webinar session. Sabay ganun. Pero, yan na po. Since ito na pong Q&A is actually the last part nito pong ating webinar. And ayun, na-target natin yung pong idea talaga na 3 o'clock dapat matapos tayo. So, inulit ko po, pahabol pa ba? Ayun, so inulit ko po, doon po pala sa mga participants, kung sasagutin po ninyo yung pong post-evaluation po, kindly type in po yung pong or encode correctly yung pong mismong pangalan ninyo para po sana hindi po pabalik-balik po yung pong pagbibigay namin ng inyo pong mga certificates. Ayan po, kasi we base po yung ilalagay namin na pangalan doon sa inyo pong mga certificates doon po sa kung anong inilagay nyo na pangalan or doon sa pagkaka-type nyo sa pangalan nyo doon sa post-evaluation. So kindly type in legibly, kung may ganun bang term. Ayun po. Last question na po to ha. Last question. Apo. Paano po namin malalaman kung ang license yung nagbebenta ng product? Nakikita po ba sa website ng FPA kung sino-sino po ang mga list of company na license po? Yes.
May sa website pinopost po yung may list po ng license, fertilizer handler at dealers. Tapos yung product din na registered. So nakapost din po yon sa FPA website. fpa.gov.ph.
Ayun. So
Tapos po, kung gusto nyo talaga i-verify, meron po silang, dapat po nga yung license nila as handler ay nakapost. Tapos doon po sa product, may FPA registration number po nakalagay.
Ayun. So, okay na po. Ayan, okay na. Okay po. So, to formally end this webinar session, no? Kindly allow us to share with you ito pong mga aming mga social channels and mga iba-iba po naming platforms na pwede niyo po gamitin in order for you to reach us dito po sa FPA. Pakibalik po dun sa contact o follow us. Ayun po. So, for social media channels, you may follow us through the FPA official Facebook page at FPA official page. Meron po kami Twitter account at FPA Central 77. And please also visit our website at www.fpa.da.gov.ph. And ayun po, you may also directly contact us or email us po through the FPA primary email, which is the fpacentral77@gmail.com. And yun, pwede din po kayong tumawag via 8920-85673 po. Yan po yung that's actually a telephone number na Planning Management and Information Division. Ayun. So if you want to visit us dito po sa Central Office, you may find us at FPA Building by Compound, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. So sa mga participants po natin during this episode, allow me to say thank you po ng marami for participating. We hope that you'll also attend po yung pong mga susunod or mga succeeding na webinar episodes. God bless us all po and mabuhay po tayong lahat. Thank you.